Hey everyone, welcome to Gage, Kentucky. This is a 4X map made by Gage Field and it is absolutely stunning. So I decided no better time than now to go ahead and try my hand at my very first custom farm build. Normally, I would just put down a house, couple of outbuildings, whatever animal pens I need and call it good. But this time around, I went ahead and tried to cover every detail I could possibly think of, and I'm very happy with how this build turned out. So we'll go ahead and take a quick tour of the farm here. Starting out, we have our path leading from the mailbox through the gate, and there is a fence all the way around the property, and this leads us straight to our double wide trailer. Nothing too special here. It is exterior only, and that's okay. We're not missing much by not seeing the inside of a double wide. If we follow the path on around the house, it leads us back here to our first shed. We have our gooseneck trailer parked beside it, and inside the shed here, we have our F350. This is an absolutely beautiful truck when it's cleaned up and actually out in the sun. Right now it's a bit muddy as it's been a pretty rainy, wet spring, but we'll go ahead and get this pickup cleaned up at some point here, but we're definitely going to be putting it to use pretty soon. And if we follow the driveway on around here, this brings us to our first entrance into the farm. And we have a John Deere hay rack sitting over here. We'll be using this to collect all of our small bales. We've got a couple of Sioux grain bins here. Nothing too special. They will work very, very well starting out here, but probably something we will have to upgrade in the future. And over here, it's pretty hard to show just how big these silos are, but they are definitely pretty massive. And we'll be using these silos to ferment our chaff and turn into silage. Very, very happy with how they look. I think they fit this map absolutely perfect. Back behind, we have a couple of augers for our grain bins. And here we have our commodity shed. We'll be using this for our hay and also our corn gluten meal. I went ahead and downloaded Ritter's adjustable animal feed mod, and I was able to change the feed ration for what we're going to feed cattle. And I'm very, very excited to use that. I can't wait to show you guys the feed ration I came up with. It's something I'm pretty excited about. Over here is our small square bale storage, and it has our one red piece of equipment. We're going all John Deere on this farm, except for the blower. Unfortunately, I have no idea how to reskin equipment in the game, so we're stuck with the international blower unless I can find a new mod out there that's John Deere. Not a big deal. We'll just keep it hidden in the shed here. And on this side, we have our Knight 3300 reel augie, and this is our feed wagon. Pretty excited to use this. It's a nice little feed wagon, and little is the key term as it's not very big. But starting out, we don't need anything real big, so it'll work out just fine. We have our bale spear sitting next to it, next to the shed here. And in here is all of our implements. So we have a John Deere 2410 cultivator. This is our biggest piece of equipment on the farm, but it's not too big for the tractors that I picked out that I'm also very, very excited to use and can't wait to put to work here. We have our ABI 1600 tank trailer here, and we'll be using this to transport our herbicide, our liquid fertilizer, and any other liquids we need around here on the farm. And back behind it, we have our John Deere 1590 grain drill. We'll be using this to drill in any alfalfa we need to get planted, and we might even go ahead and drill some soybeans with it if we find the need. Next to it, we have our John Deere 7000 6-row planter. Now, it does look like it's set up for liquid fertilizer, but if I remember right, I don't think it actually works. I think it's just kind of there for looks, and that's about it. But it's been a while since I set up this farm, so I honestly don't remember. Sitting in front of it, we have our John Deere 220 disc. Definitely something we're going to be putting to use right away here on the farm. And I'm very, very excited for it. Over here, we have our John Deere bush hog. Probably won't use this a whole lot, but it's something we'll use to mow down ditches when we need, and any other little bit of cleanup we have around the farm here. We have our John Deere 345 Plus chopper head, and we will be doing all corn silage on this map, and I'm very, very excited for it. Next to it, we have our John Deere 643 6-row corn head. That way it matches up with our 6-row planter. And lastly, we have our John Deere 220 bean header, and we'll be using this to combine all of our beans. As you can tell, they are a bit older, and that's because I decided I'd go a little bit old on this series starting out. Nothing too old. We're not going to be restricted to only old equipment here, but got quite a bit of old equipment to start out. So in the shed here, we have our power washer and our 4440 with the 148 loader. We have the loader bucket on it right now. And this is going to be kind of our dual tractor around the farm here. We'll be using it for planting, loading feed wagon, and it's definitely going to be our most used tractor here on the farm. Now, one of the newer pieces of equipment I got is this John Deere R732i power spray. And this thing is fully loaded, fully decked out. It has the spot and spray technology. It has the impulse spray, and it is by far our newest, most exciting piece of equipment on the farm here. And I think, honestly, it fits really, really well, even though it is way newer than any of our other equipment. Next to it, we have our John Deere 4955. This is our big tractor. We'll be using this to pull the cultivator, do all of our disking, and I'm not sure if our 4440 will actually pull that sprayer, so this may end up on the sprayer as well. But that's something we'll figure out, at a later date here. And this is probably my favorite piece of equipment on this farm. It is the John Deere 7700 combine. And to be completely honest, I absolutely love this generation of combine. I have no idea why, but they've always stuck out for me, and I just absolutely love these combines, and I am super excited to be able to run one here on this farm. Parked back here in the corner next to it is our John Deere 6810 chopper. And like I said earlier, we're going to do all corn silage on this farm, so very excited to get that out later on this fall and get to chopping some silage. And our last piece of equipment in here is our John Deere 4020. This is going to be our hay tractor. I'm probably going to be putting this on our feed wagon and whatever other little chores we have. Probably put it on the auger as needed. And our custom John Deere toolbox is in here. This way we can work on and maintenance all of our equipment. So like I said, we're going all John Deere on this farm, and I'm pretty excited with what we have starting out here. So we'll run around to the back. There's not a whole lot back here, but this is something I'm probably the most proud of on this farm. And as we go by here, we have our Exus cattle trailer, using that to haul all of our cattle. And this is our first feedlot. I built 2 feedlots on this farm, and they're both 100% custom made. And I'm really, really excited to see how this works out. Now, I put a bunch of grass and plants in here because these cattle lots haven't been used for years, and they've definitely gotten overgrown. Now, the way I made these feedlots is I used the Fenceless Pastures mod. I've never used this mod before. I have no idea how it's going to work out, but I've got very, very high hopes for it. And with using that Fenceless Pasture mod, we were able to put all custom fencing in around it. We have the custom feed bunks in here, which honestly are mostly just for looks, as this ugly piece here in the middle is where we actually feed the cattle. Now, this feedlot will hold 98 head. And if we run out, go around the corner here, this is our second feedlot, and this one's a bit smaller. This one holds 35 head, but you can see it's a bit overgrown, just like the other one, and essentially set up the same. It's got the Fenceless Pasture mod, the custom feed bunks, and unfortunately that really ugly centerpiece where we actually feed. I really wish we could change that out. That would be fantastic. Now, something I do wish I would have done is set up the Fenceless Pasture mod to come into the barn. Unfortunately, I didn't do it, and I honestly didn't think about it until I was completely done with this farm. So, unfortunately, no cattle will be going into either barn. They're mostly just here for looks, but regardless, I think they really add to the aesthetic of this farm, and I'm very, very proud of how this turned out. As you can see, this is not a flat piece of ground. I was able to terraform this and slope it a lot like what I see in real life for cattle lots where you feed up top, all the crap runs down the hill, and we can clean it out later. And that's where this comes in. This is our manure heap. Now, something I will be doing is manually loading any manure that we get out of here, as I want to try and keep our series that we're going to do on this map as realistic as possible. And inside this barn is our big bale storage and also all of our hay equipment. Now, we don't have a big baler. We're not going to be doing any big bales starting out, but it's something eventually we will work up to, or at least I plan to anyway. So here we have our Vermeer VR1224 rake, and this does work as a tedder as well. So we're going to be doing all alfalfa and turning it into hay. So this will save one pass going through the field, getting all of our alfalfa tedded and raked all in one step. So I'm very, very excited to use it. As you can see, it is definitely a little dirty, definitely a little used. And over here we have our John Deere 348 small square baler, and it's in much, much better condition. A lot cleaner, but it is actually used, believe it or not. So everything on this farm is, well, I shouldn't say everything. Most everything on this farm is in some sort of used condition. Some of it's slightly used, some of it's very used. But I definitely tried to make sure we're not starting out with any real brand new equipment. And lastly, we have our John Deere 365 mower. Very excited to get this out into our alfalfa fields and start mowing down some hay. But that's going to come up here in another month or so. And as we come out here, back behind our silos, we have our Brent 644 gravity wagons. We have 2 of them. And these are what we're going to be using to get all of our grain out of the fields and into our bins, and from our bins into town to get it sold. So this is our farm. I'm very, very excited with how this turned out. I hope you guys like it as well. And if you do, go ahead, let me know down in the comments. And stay tuned for the beginning of our next series here on Gage, Kentucky. Very, very excited to get this series started. And I hope you guys are too. So if you like what you're seeing, please make sure you like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an episode.